I don't know. Whatever. I'll try it. It's not going to work.
Do you have it?
I have it, but I'm not going to read it.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, you ready?
Ready.
Ready doing this.
Ready to do it.
Hey there. Welcome. This is episode 110 of the Goulet Pencast, where fountain pens are still a thing. I'm Drew Brown.
And I'm Adrianne Lineberger.
And we're here today to bring to you this casual and informal, tangential and extraneous, superfluous and extemporaneous fountain pen show where we talk about what's going on at the Goulet Pen Company and in our fountain pen lives.
I have to give you a round of applause because that was amazing. Good job.
Today, we're going to have a head-to-head fountain pen draft where Adrian and I go at it and try to pick the best fountain pen team while not going over $1,000. You are going to meet Brandon, so lucky you, and we're going to have a bunch of other fun questions, curiosities, and nonsense. So buckle up, strap in, and get ready, because here we go. Before we get things rolling, we're going to ease in with some feedback.
Love it.
All right, so I'm going to feed us back first because Monk Pato says, what we really want to know is who's Drew's favorite UFC fighter? And I'm sure what we all want to know means just what Monk Pato wants to know. But I always like talking about it, so I'm going to tell you anyway. UFC fighters are kind of crazy, and they always end up doing controversial and or bad things. So I kind of have a hard time finding someone I truly like or someone I'm bold enough to say, I like this guy.
Yeah.
Because who knows, they might be in the headlines next week.
I mean, they pretty much
something.
beat people up for a living.
Yeah, you got to be a little crazy.
Yeah.
So, but I will say, Max Holloway, seriously good dude. Dustin Poirier, seriously good dude. So
I feel like you mentioned Max Holloway before when you're talking to like Ethan.
He's a great guy. Great guy. So yeah, Holloway, Poirier. Boom, boom, boom. Love him. Oscar Medina, 1597, asks, what are your Myers-Briggs personality types? I'm betting that you both start with IN, referring to Brian and I. So, Oscar, or maybe he's talking about you and I. I don't know where I got this comment from. I don't know if I got it from the Ask Adrian a Question comment or from YouTube. Maybe. Either way.
I think probably you and Brian, and then we can just...
Doesn't matter. Either way, I am ENFP. I should be INFP because I feel like I am an introvert, but the ENFP describes me better than any of the other ones I've read. So I consider myself an ENFP, even though I do not get energy from being around people. I get energy from being alone. But still, it's pretty accurate. The brief description of the ENFP, which is called the campaigner, and that actually fits too, because the campaigner, somebody's like, hey, I'm interested in this thing. You should be interested in it too.
Yes, that is you to a T.
That's very me.
Yeah.
Campaigners are independent and creative, always on the lookout for the magic and meaning in everyday life.
Aw, you are on the lookout for magic.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It is.
Brian is an ENTP. So same as me, except with the T. That is known as the debater. I pasted the same thing that I pasted for campaigner. Anyway, talk about yourself. I'm going to find out what the debater says.
I am an ENFJ. So again, Drew and I are very similar, except I have the J to mine, and the J stands for judgmental, but not in the way you might think. However, it is a little funny because it's more like you like a planned and organized existence. And if my husband were watching this, he would be cracking up because I do not have a planned or organized anything.
You're pretty well organized at work. Maybe it's like a work versus personal thing.
It might be.
Your office is very neat and tidy.
You obviously haven't looked at it today, but I've got
it's more often tidy than mine is.
That is true. That is true.
The ENFJ, Adrianne, says that the protagonist is what she is. Protagonists are genuine, caring people who talk the talk and walk the walk. Nothing makes them happier than motivating other people to do what's right. As a former manager of Adrianne, I will say that what's right and just and correct and lawful is very important to her.
That also aligns with my zodiac sign. So I've got a lot of like justice in there.
Yes, you like justice.
I like justice.
Justice. So back to Brian. The debaters are the ultimate devil's advocates, thriving on the process of shredding arguments and beliefs and letting the ribbons drift in the wind for all to see. In meetings, which Adrian and I are both in plenty of meetings with Brian, he will often just like if everybody's in agreement with something, that's Brian's cue to be like, okay, well, I need to disagree with this then. Like if everybody's like, yes, we should definitely carry this new like $50 Lamy 2000. Brian's like, well, hang on. What if we don't?
Let's talk about how about we don't do that.
Right. Like,
and here are the reasons why.
He has to, if no one else is anti, he's like, well, I need to at least fill these shoes. Because maybe what if, he feels like all bases need to be covered. And if he's the one that needs to cover them, then so be it. Even if it's not his personal belief, he'll still do it.
He does a very good job about bringing up those points, even if he is in favor of something.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So what sort of feedback do you have, Adrianne?
Well, Nathan Kenyon says, on the topic of Retro 51, I've got one of their fountain pens that I found for sale on Reddit. It's probably in my top 5 fountain pens. Always starts, never skips. Just a good all-around pen.
That is good to hear.
Last
week we talked about brands or pens that we wish were more popular, and Retro 51 fountain pens came up.
Yeah.
And I heard that he was not the only one. I heard a lot of solid stuff, or she or they.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of good stuff about Retro 51 fountain pens. And you and I have kind of revisited that recently. Because we kind of mentally, Retro 51 fountain pens, but we've been actually thinking and using them more recently.
Yeah.
And they're solid.
And we've got another couple.
Yeah, we got the Buzz.
The Buzz, which
came
is
in.
Gorgeous.
I wonder how that's selling. I haven't checked.
I haven't either.
Hopefully it's good.
But we haven't heard any people unhappy with it.
Nope.
So
we haven't heard any buzz.
Always good. Dawn Demanda says, thank you for entertaining me while I finish cupcakes for my daughter's baby shower Saturday and then cleaning up the mess I made. Then I relaxed for the second half. Glenn does a fantastic job, and I do love your product photos. They are so much better than any other site. I enjoy browsing just to enjoy the pictures. I agree.
Glenn got a lot of love last episode.
I mean,
and it was
I
really...
can't say why he wouldn't.
I agree, but he, not a lot of people go out of their way to mention the photography, but because we had him on there, he got a little bit of a spotlight. He really appreciated all the kind words to everybody that mentioned that. It really meant a lot to him because he's a little bit of an unsung hero.
He is. You see his work every time you visit the site, but you might not know how long he's been working on something or how much energy goes into creating one of those.
And we also have a second photographer named Alex, and he will join us one day as well.
Yes, Alex is amazing for all our on white stuff, and so I'm excited for everybody to get to meet him too. And then lastly, Jessica's Black says, spotlight Anita and Brenda, please. Almost all of my orders are packed by them, so I know their names well.
Anita might. Brenda, I don't know. I've asked them both, and they just kind of laughed at me.
Yeah. I think you could maybe get Anita if you did a 2-minute quick round. Favorite color, favorite pen, how long you been here. Okay, thanks, bye.
Yeah, we've got a couple of folks in our fulfillment team that are very just get the business done sort of types, and those two are. They are very wonderful people, but they're just all right, how is this helping me?
Yeah. Can we do this more efficiently? Yes, please.
Why are we doing this? Oh my God! No, I love giving them a hard time, and they give me a hard time too. I'll be walking in there just to say hi to Crystal, and then Anita will just start sassing me for no reason.
Oh yeah.
I tell you, that's Anita.
See, I don't ever get sassed by them because I am on their good side.
All right. Fair enough. Okay, we're going to move on to some new stuff because we've got a bunch.
So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Benu Euphoria Fountain Pen Hallowed Harvest. Now, this is a super limited edition, but Benu Euphoria pens are amazing. So check it out. Add do the notify me if you want to get it because we expect them to go whoosh.
Very Halloween-y.
Very, very fast. We've also got the Esterbrook SD Raven fountain pen, or SD Fountain Pen Raven, which is just a matte black on black, which is always such a classic look. We're going to be carrying 2 versions. We've got the cartridge converter, currently starting at $202. And then we've got the button piston fill, which sadly is sold out. But when it comes back, it'll be $247.
Have you felt the button on that thing?
No.
It's so smooth.
Yeah.
Because I've used one. I've used one that was brass, and it was very Yeah, it was very
I don't
metally. This
like
one
that.
is smooth because the
Nice.
metal is black lacquered, so
Oh,
or
yeah.
anodized, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
anodized.
it's smooth and quiet.
Nice.
So it's like kind of a Con 70 if you've ever used one of those.
Oh,
So
that's very smooth.
it's a piston, but it's a button.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely cool. It's very unique. It's not like we have a lot of pens that do that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love new filling mechanisms
Yes.
or different filling
Yeah,
mechanisms.
I was
we should
surprised,
say.
and I was kind of surprised that the SD was the one to do that because I just like they already had a system, they already made cartridge converter stuff, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, button filler, what?
Let's do this. Maybe it's revisiting something in Esterbrook's past.
Probably.
Yeah. Then we have the Sailor Pro Gear Moroccan Mint Tea Kissian limited edition. Now it's got the Pro Gear for $312 and the King of Pens for $880. And this one is beautiful. It's kind of got a cream body and a red translucent cap. I prefer it to the other one just in terms of the color. And then we've got the Pro Gear Slim Moroccan Mint Tea and Sugar.
That's the good one.
That one.
That one is better.
It
is
looks more like tea.
better.
It
Yeah.
looks more like tea. The
better.
barrel is kind
Prettier?
of a beautiful, it's not quite as dark as the 823 amber, but it's a little bit amber. And then the cap is
Also better.
white to be the sugar in the tea.
Yeah, it's not just white.
It's cream.
Yes, it's very.
And the
it's
grip
just
section matches the cap.
It's just like what they did last year, where they came out with two ho-hum larger versions,
And then,
the Christmas pudding.
yeah.
And this one's like that. It's good. It's
It
fun.
is.
I wish it wasn't a slim. I wish it was bigger, but the
Yeah.
colors are more exciting.
Uh,
They make the little ones the more fun ones, just like
Yeah.
Christmas pudding.
They do. They do. And then, if that's not enough, there's also the Moroccan Mint Tea ink by Sailor as well that comes with this. And because I know people always like to know, like, what are comparable colors? Well, you can see this on our website. I used our Swab Shop comparison tool and found that it is super, super, super close to Ferris Wheel Press's Queen and Castle.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
But Queen and Castle's shimmery, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it's like a non-version.
It's like a non-shimmery
Gotcha.
version of that. But check both of those out, do your own comparison.
Gotcha. So instead of Queen and Castle, it could be like Duke and Big House.
Yes, or like tea with the queen.
There we go. Tea with the Queen.
Tea with the queen. There we go.
Tea Queen. All right. I'm going to talk a lot about paper, so y'all hold on to your butts. Endless. So the Endless Recorder A5 notebook in stealth is now available. This is just like the other Endless Recorders. They have a blue and a black with a teal thing. This one's just all black. Black on black on black on black. So it's a special edition, $25.50 for that. It's got
Except
the
the paper is not black on the inside.
No black paper.
No black paper.
Is white. 80 GSM Regalia paper, 192 pages, 5mm dot grid ruling, and it says 16 easy to tear perforated sheets. So I guess within there, if you wanted non-permanent journaling pages, they give you 16 of those.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I have a recorder at home, and I put recipes in it,
Yeah.
but I never paid attention to.
Maybe you could write a recipe and tear it out and give it to somebody.
I don't want to do that. Those are mine.
I know.
Anyway,
Keep your secrets.
interesting. Yeah. So the secrets that I get off the internet. And also from Endless is the daily 2024 planner. So that's here, ready for your 2024 planning. It's black. It's $28.50. And it's got some things like habit trackers, appointment trackers, and moon phase indicators on all days, because we need to know about that, apparently.
Yes, we do.
345 pages there. Also 80 GSM Regalia paper, which is nice.
It is. It's
I
a
like
really
that
nice
paper,
paper
a lot. It's
Yeah.
If you haven't tried Regalia paper from Endless, do it because it's good.
A couple of years ago, I got one of their planners and I loved it when I used it. I'm
It's
just not a
solid.
planner person.
I traditionally am not, but I'll tell you what I am going to buy.
Yeah.
One of these next ones. The Endless Explorer refillable A5 journal. So this is a cactus leather, modular
Cover?
journal system like Traveler's Notebooks or any of the other versions of that. But it is cactus leather. So it is non-animal leather.
I believe they call that vegan.
Yeah, I would call that vegan, sure. But it's actually like still technically leather. Like it has a little logo on it that says full grain leather.
How is that possible?
I guess because it's still organic. Like it's still made from living material.
Things?
So,
Interesting.
but it's got like the little leather logo that looks like the pelt,
Yeah, yeah.
And it says full grain leather on it, but it's cactus leather. It definitely smells different. It smells leather adjacent.
leather.
But-
Not like a Wilson's leather in the mall.
Oh my God. I used to work there.
Did you?
I did. That was my second job.
Nice.
It smelled very leathery.
I was going to say, did you deck yourself out in like the leather jacket and everything?
No, I did buy a very, very late 90s jacket, though.
Nice.
I still have it because I got a really good deal on it. It was like a $400 jacket I got for like 120, but it looks like something Al Pacino would wear in Donnie Brasco.
Yep, I can picture it.
Do you know how long it is?
It probably comes to like mid-thigh on you.
Yes.
Yes. It's like you could almost be Neo in the Matrix.
It's not coming back in style.
No.
But I'm like, what do I do with it? Because nobody wants it. I can't sell it. So, and it's also kind of baggy too.
It's like just a little bit more time. I'm sure it'll come back.
Some things just don't, though.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm doing with this. This looks so stupid. It's like one of those jackets you would like unfold your collar and put over your jacket. You know, it's like that sort of thing. It's so bad.
That was so 90s
but I was like, oh, I know. I was like, I got such a good deal on it. This is awesome. Yikes.
And you probably loved it while you wore it.
I thought it was pretty badass.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
Awesome. Anyway, don't ask me to wear it. I won't. So that journal is really cool. It's only $60. It comes with 3 different elastic bands for you to put all of your A5 notebooks in, as long as like they're thin enough. You know, you don't want to put in there with a wire-bound ruling or binding or anything.
hard-bound.
Yeah, you want to stick with staple-bound or sewn. But the thing that's going to be super cool for a lot of our Pencast listeners is that months ago, Brian asked everybody if they would have interest in a 7mm dot grid notebook. And we got a resounding yes from many, 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 many people.
Yes.
So this notebook is going to contain a 7mm dot grid ruling that will be, I believe, exclusive to the Goulet Pen Company, like this journal is.
Nice.
So we've got exclusive packaging on the journal. And then it will come with the A5 7mm dot grid journal, and then later we're going to offer those for sale individually.
Nice.
Also. So those will be on the way. Go ahead and get started with this one, $60. Hopefully we'll have more refills available for you as soon as you exhaust this one. But for now, you put some more A5 stuff in there. So we chose A5 because it's pretty versatile. There's a lot of A5 options out there. And check it out on the website. We've got more pictures. We've also got pictures of the Pencast sticker sheet. We had this in development before the last person at the Pencast said, hey, you know what? A sticker sheet might actually be a good idea.
Somebody said that?
Yeah. So I was like,
it.
oh, well, we might do that. That was already in process. You can see we've got a sticker of Brian Goulet right here holding his travel log over his shoulder. A Pencast listener was kind enough to actually do this preemptively. And we're like, well, okay, we'll do something with that. So that looks great. He's got a little axe there. He's got a Rubik's Cube on his belt.
He's got his ink samples.
Yeah, he's got an ink sample bandolier.
Yes, I love it.
And then he's got his...
The attention to detail is
He's got
fabulous.
his Yukari Royale. And then we've got Turkey Hammock showing up here. We've got the Pencast logo. We've got Brian's quote, quantity is quality, up in the top corner here. And then we've got my Corgi Kaiju down there at the bottom. This one isn't the exact same scale. It is smaller than the one we gave away at DC. But it's here, and you can get it. You can get all of these for just $6. So these are available now. Check them out. They'll be around. Hope you enjoy it.
Is the barcode also a sticker?
The barcode is not a sticker.
Oh, I was going to say that'd be really fun. Could put that on you and then scan yourself at like the self-checkout and see what it comes up as.
$6. $6 Goulet.
Yeah.
Pen sheet.
Six Goulet dollars.
Yep. All right. So before we move on to Q&A, I wanted to say that I spoke with our coworker Janaea, who is our marketing specialist.
Yes.
And I asked her, Janaea, what is a cool ink sample that you think that we should offer for free to our Pencast listeners? And she very quickly said, Wearing Goal, I Am a Cat. She has been loving that. It's a nice, calm gray, but with some gold shimmer. And she's just been all about it. And very quickly was like, this is the one. So that is what we're going to allow you to do. If you are placing an order in the next week, go ahead and pop in an ink sample, if you wish, of I Am a Cat to your cart. And then in the coupon code box, just type in cat. And it'll get your $1.75 or whatever will get deducted from your final cost.
It will make it free.
It will make it free. So from now, the 20th to the 27th of October, that will be available to you. So enjoy. Thank you, Janaea. Now we're going to move on to the Q&A segment.
Q&A. I'll start.
Please.
C. Adcock says,
Yeah.
Help! I don't know what to write other than journaling, and friends and family will worry about me if I start sending correspondence. What do people do with their pen collections other than admire the pens themselves?
Well, that's a good question, and I've been there before.
Yeah.
I want to write, but I don't know what to write. Don't know who to write it to.
Yeah.
I will say this: don't count out the fact that, I mean, granted, if you think someone's going to react poorly to your letter, don't write them one. But don't assume that you know how somebody is going to react to getting a letter that just is saying hi.
Hey.
I had a moment earlier this year, I think, where I just was at an event and we were hanging out with friends, and I was just kind of overcome with gratitude and appreciation for our friends. So I wrote about 5 or 6 letters over the course of a few days, just saying, hey, thank you for being my friend. I like you. I think you're, really smart, intelligent, and insightful. I appreciate the perspective you've brought to my life. I was like, it was super corny and cheesy, but you know what? It would have been a whole lot more corny and cheesy to like just sit here and tell somebody that to their face.
That would be very uncomfortable.
Which I definitely do, and my wife is like, oh my God, Drew, stop. It was just she's just doing her job as a server. I'm like, yeah, but she was really good.
She was really friendly. She's really
so
nice.
I might go a little overboard when I am overcome with gratitude, but hey, it's better to do that than the opposite, right? But anyway, it is less awkward when you do it via written correspondence. So go ahead and do it. I got a call the day one of my friends received his letter. He called me. He was like, Drew, this was just made my day. Just no one has ever done this for me. Like, I have a lot of friends, but just getting it written down like that was very special, and that meant a lot to me because I'm like, all right, great, I made an impact. So you never know. I mean, maybe 9 out of 10 people don't even respond to your letter or don't text you or anything about it. But if you change the one person's day, totally worth it.
Absolutely.
And if you need to write something down anyway, might as well write something down that's going to positively benefit somebody.
Very true.
Like, so many times we think positive things about our friends, family, coworkers. We're like, man, they're really smart. They're really nice. And we don't tell them.
Yeah.
Like, just tell them. Right? So it can be a little A5 sheet. Don't even need to go A4. Just A5 it, put a stamp on it, send it out. It's when you write a letter to somebody, when they hold it, they know this person sat down, because everybody knows about how long it takes to write a page of something.
Yeah.
They're going to know, like, this person took at least, 5-10 minutes out of their day and thought about me.
Yeah.
That can go a long way, and it might surprise you how long it goes.
Well, and when I write letters to people, I am always much more aware of what I am writing.
Absolutely.
Because I really, it's like I'm using a really nice tool. So I want my thoughts to be as nice as the tool I'm using.
100%. And if you don't want to send it to someone, one thing I've also done, and it's kind of like journaling, but if you write a letter to someone without the intention of giving it to them, it can help be a bit of a mental exercise, a bit of therapy sometimes. If you've got someone in your life that isn't in your life as much and you wish they were, or somebody that you don't have a great relationship with, write them a letter. Just tell them how you feel. Don't send it to them. But a lot of the times, like, thinking is like driving sometimes. It's just, it's fast, it's quick. You get from point A to point B, but you don't really pay attention to where you're going along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And when you write, that to me is like walking.
Yes.
Because you're paying more attention, like you just said, you're paying more attention to what you're passing. You're paying more attention to your path, to your movement. And if you are mentally walking instead of mentally driving, you're going to notice more things. You're going to, as you're writing this letter to somebody, you're going to kind of, your insight is going to be different. You're going to pick up a few things that you might not have picked up otherwise. And after you're done writing this letter, for lack of a better term, you might have a mental eureka moment that could benefit you the next time you sit down for your therapy session. So that's a helpful thing as well. So a real letter and then a fake letter. That's what my recommendations would be to you.
Nice.
You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I actually always like doing fancy things for them. So for years now.
Fancy things for?
Not for them, with fountain pens.
Oh, right.
Fancy things with fountain pens. I do place cards for like any big family gathering. So we can put people where we want them with their place cards.
Yeah.
I also will write the menu for like fancy like Christmas dinner and Thanksgiving dinner and stuff. So everybody gets a menu at their own plate.
Ooh.
And that's really fun to, to use.
Do they expect that now?
Oh yeah. I've had family members be like, so if I give you you some note cards. Can
Nice.
you do this for me?
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
No one
yeah.
has ever asked me to do that.
I
I haven't tried.
started doing stuff like that, I think, back in high school. So
What?
it has been a long time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get into that later when we talk about our fountain pen use prior to Goulet Pen Company, because
Yes.
that is very telling.
It is. And then also, it's not quite as much fountain pen, but we do have some great fountain pens that are good for artists. The TWSBI Eco is always a favorite of artists because it's got so much ink. So you can use that if you're doing art, especially if you use a waterproof art. And shockingly, the Platinum Preppy is another really good one because it's got that extra fine nib.
Yeah.
You can get that, and that's great for really...
Very utilitarian.
Yeah, so inexpensive, great to carry with you. So yeah, those two things.
Solid. All right. Question 2 comes to us this week from a long name that I'm not going to try to say. Ends with Anna, 2108. And this person is asking, I always wondered if someone wasn't a fountain pen enthusiast when joining the team, the Goulet Pen Company, how long did it take them to fall into that rabbit hole? And were Drew and Adrianne both fountain pen users before joining? Also, love Adrianne. She's such a sweetie.
Well, thank you.
No, she's not. Just kidding.
I mean, it depends on the day. Let's be real.
No, you always are. Always.
Well,
So yeah, you've been a pen nerd for a long time.
Yes.
Or
No,
at least a nerd. I don't know. A writing.
a writing nerd, yeah, for a
Yeah.
very long time. Now, back in high school, it was the Jelly Roll pens. Loved them, had every color.
Like the milky pens and all that.
Oh yeah. But yeah, to recap very quickly, I actually found Goulet because I was looking for a fountain pen place and found that there was one here in Virginia.
Wait, you were specifically looking for like a fountain pen store?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
Okay, got it.
Or a place that could repair.
Not to work at, but to shop
at first to
Okay.
shop at. Then I found Goulet, and I thought that was amazing. And I ordered some stuff and got a lovely package with the Lamy Safari Petrol.
Oh yeah.
And
That was the driveway petrol, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
that was the driveway petrol. And ever since then, so for me, it didn't take that long. 2 of our newer team members, they would say inside 60 days. Like, especially being on the customer care team, you get a chance to see a lot of the pens, whether or not we're inspecting them for customers or they've come back with returns and we're seeing what's going on with them. So we just get a lot of hands-on experience, and because we get to see and touch a lot of pens, I think that really kind of jumpstarts their interest.
Yeah.
I know for Kay, she was kind of a little hesitant until she saw the Benu vodka on the rocks, which is pretty much pure sparkle, and that turned her around.
That's like the most Benu.
It is. It would only be more Benu if it was like skull and crossbones. Total sparkle, like their tattoo.
Yeah, maybe glow in the dark too.
Yeah, add some
maybe
glow
that's
in the
not
dark.
the most Benu, but it is.
It's a Benu.
It's loud.
Yeah.
Very loud. Yeah, there are a couple people. I think it's more impressive when someone doesn't work with fountain pens at all at this company and then
Yeah.
still becomes a fountain pen nerd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Jeremy and Jen specifically.
Oh, yeah.
They like consistently still buy stuff, even though they don't. In their job, it doesn't require them to touch a pen.
Nope.
Like at all, but
Nope.
yet they still got hooked. So it's not uncommon for someone whose job doesn't actually put them on the front lines of like pen knowledge to still be into it. But yeah, it definitely does happen. It just all depends on the person and their proclivities, I guess.
Yeah.
For me, I definitely have been a lifelong rabbit hole diver and collector. Like I've collected lots of things, and we're going to get into more hobbies later in another question, but. I'm susceptible to that. So it did not take me long. I had only written with a fountain pen once before, and that was just some random little calligraphy set that my mom had that worked very poorly, and I got way turned off about
I think I can probably picture what it looked like too.
Oh, yeah. It had like different, sort of nibs and grip sections on it.
Yep. And it probably came with like 2 converters, a black one and a blue one?
It came with a couple. It
Okay.
was in one of those like plastic trays
Yep.
with like the vacuum formed little,
Yep.
and it was just junky. I was fascinated by it. I wanted it to work, but
Yeah.
I don't know how long it had been sitting around.
Probably a while.
I wanted to enjoy it, but it was scratchy and dry and probably I probably wasn't doing it right, but that was my only experience. But I'm like, fountain pens are dumb and boring and scratchy and dry and sad, but Then I, got here, or technically the garage, and Brian was like, well, yeah, I pick out a, pretty affordable fountain pen, and, you can have it. And I picked a Lamy All-Star in ocean blue with
Two
a
Lamies.
1.1 nib.
Nice.
And yeah, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. So they just instantly done. And then I, saved up and bought what I thought was an incredibly expensive pen, which was the Lamy CP1.
Ooh.
And that was like my go-to pen for a while.
Really?
Because, it took me a while to get another one, but it was pretty much just all Lamy there at the beginning, for sure.
I did the Lamy Safari, like I said, Pilot Metro, and then my next pen purchase was the TWSBI Eco.
Oh, wow.
So I got all three of the
Nice. I did get a TWSBI 540 pretty early. Ooh. So that was one of my ones. I wonder if I got that before the CP1 or not. I don't know. They were right around the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a 540 and it fell apart completely, just crumbled into nothing. But those 540s had a terrible time with cracks and stuff like that. That's why they were replaced with the 580.
Which is lovely.
But yeah, all right.
Cool. Well, so we also have, oh boy, I'm going to say a lot of letters, mkh.my. I hope.
Sure.
That was the way it goes. Other than fountain pens, what other rabbit holes have you fallen into? And do you want me to ask the second one?
Yeah.
And we had kind of a connected question from Lucios. If fountain pens didn't exist, what would be the next hobby closest to it that you would be into?
So I figured if we get two hobby-related questions, we got to answer this one.
I love it.
Yeah, so between the two of us, we have had some random rabbit hole hobbies and collections for sure. Like, no doubt about that. It doesn't take a lot for either of us to fall in.
Hyper-focus.
Yes, 100%. So my first one was probably action figures as a kid. Star Wars action figures. I had loved to just set them up, display them. One Christmas, I asked for a display case for my Star Wars figures.
Really?
Yeah. I wanted them in glass. And they were all loose too. They had no
Not
value.
In the packages.
No. I just thought they looked cool. I set them up in little scenes and stuff. I turned on the light and I'm like, oh yeah, that looks sweet.
I like it.
And then, I bought a bunch of McFarlane figures, the super detailed ones. So action figures were definitely number one, followed closely by comic books. Single issue comics. I had a subscription box at my local comic store. I would bag and board them. I would label the dividers, the long cardboard boxes. I still have about a half dozen of those in my closet upstairs. So that was my next collection there. And then, that was pretty much it for a good long while. And then movies. I started collecting just way too many Blu-rays and DVDs and things like that. So that definitely happened. And then kind of pushed pause on that. And then just recently, I got into coins a couple years ago, went down that rabbit hole.
Are you still looking for coins, or have you kind of completed what you were hoping to get?
I will go seek one out every now and then. I've crossed off a lot of my list. What I was doing for a while was seeking out your British half crowns on the death year of each monarch going back to George III.
Yeah.
So I got those all done. So I kind of need a new one.
Did you get Queen Elizabeth?
Well, that's the thing. They don't make half crowns anymore. They switched to the decimal system. Now, they don't have those. So I can't technically get. I do have a half crown with Queen Elizabeth on it because when she was, not inaugurated. That's American speak.
Ascended to the throne?
Yeah, sure. Coronated.
Yes.
I do have one on her coronation day. So
that's pretty cool.
But it's not silver. They stopped making them out of silver at that point. But, So, yeah, coins, that's a thing. And then retro video games. Started that about 15, 20 years ago probably, collecting Super Nintendo and Nintendo games mostly. And then that brought me in a little bit to the restoration side of things. So restoring and cleaning Game Boys, actual, retro systems. And then that led me to Raspberry Pi computers, which are great for retro game emulation. So I've built those into handheld units. I've built them into full-size arcade machines. And then I've built them and given them to friends and family as well. So that is the whole thing.
Now, have you done more than one arcade machine?
I've done the arcade machine we have here, and then I retrofitted my friends Josh and Steven. They own a arcade 1-up machine, which are those kind of like smaller arcade cabinets that you can get at like Walmart and Costco. They had a Pac-Man machine, that had just one controller on there.
Uh-huh.
I retrofitted that one and added a second controller to it, and then added a Raspberry Pi to that one so that they could use that one as a full-blown arcade machine. So technically 2, I guess.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then kayaking, I got into that for a while.
Yeah.
I've been into video editing for a good long while. Every time we have a family vacation, I go way overboard and edit a thing and have music and everything to it. It's like an hour long. I don't know why I torture my family like that, but I do.
Because it's fun.
GoPros and drones, any fun video accessory, I like to do that. And then, of course, I've mentioned here before that the patches have been a thing recently. Been collecting patches. And then before that, it was Disney pins from Disney World. I do the whole lanyard thing like a super nerd whenever I go to Disney vacations.
You got your jacket patched up.
I know, because I can't.
Quick.
I know, it was supposed to take a long time.
It did not take a long time. Spoiler. You're going to have to buy a second. Maybe you could start putting patches on the leather jacket. Bring that back.
Oh, God. Golly, that looks so dumb. Because it's that, like, smooth, like, lambskin, not even the chunky one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so dumb. And then I think movie posters are going to be next, Adrianne. I've started researching double-sided posters because I want to build light boxes for for my den. I want to, but you have to have the double-sided ones because they have to be lit from the back. So they have to be, inverse.
Yeah. How much wall space do you have that you're going to put all these posters on?
Not enough. I just need 2. I just want 2. Because right now I have 3 Star Wars posters. I'm going to downsize to 2 light boxes.
And you've got 3 posters. So what new posters do you need?
Well, no, I don't have any posters. I need double-sided posters.
Okay. What are you going to... Star Wars? Is that what you're going to
stick
with?
Well, here's the thing. With the double-sided posters are only used at movie theaters. So you have to get ones that have been used. And those are expensive. So Star Wars posters are going to be out of my budget. So I'll probably just end up with I could get the Solo movie poster probably. That's affordable enough. As far as Star Wars posters go. But I don't know. I need to chill. But so apart from fountain pens, retro gaming is definitely my next hobby. I'll shut up now.
Interesting.
Adrianne.
Interesting. So I have always been into art. The number of pens, pencils, paint, scrapbook supplies. I was into scrapbooking I had a ton of scrapbooking stuff. But that kind of, once I was done with college, that kind of fizzled away because I realized you don't have time in the, quote, real world to do all the things.
And social media is kind of an online scrapbook in its own way.
Yeah. I've still got some and I pull them out and look at them because, they have original pictures in there, but I don't really look at old pictures anymore. So, but I was really into scrapbooking for a while. And then about 8 years ago, I went down a rabbit hole into reading about the 1996 expedition on Mount Everest. You may or may not.
Which went really well.
Yeah. Spoiler, no. So Into Thin Air was the first book that kind of got me, and that's by John Krakauer. And I didn't know anything about it. He was on the expedition and wrote about this terrible, at the time, the worst disaster that had happened on Mount Everest, the largest number of lives lost, sadly. And what really stuck out to me there is how crazy you've got to be to think you want to climb Mount Everest. Because reading these stories, even before the bad stuff happened, it just sounds miserable. You are at 17,000 feet at base camp and your body doesn't do well in that low oxygen atmosphere.
We're not supposed to be there.
No, we're really not. But then I found every other book written by anybody who was on the mountain in 1996 and read it.
So did you read Anatoly's book?
I did, Climb.
Which are kind of at odds with each other, aren't they? He was not happy with Krakauer's book.
No. He actually wrote Climb in response to Krakauer's first edition.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Of Into Thin Air. And then Beck Weathers wrote one.
So Krakauer wrote a second book?
No, he just added to his book to respond to Anatoly's response. It was pretty intense.
Gotcha.
And then I read
of all of them, which one is your favorite book?
I've gone back and reread Into Thin Air more than any other one. But honestly, I think it was called Left for Dead. I should have written a note, but the one from Beck Weathers, because he really was presumed dead, and they left him, as you have to, and turns out he wasn't dead, and they got him off the mountain, and it's a pretty incredible story to read. Yeah. And then I read the not autobiography, but the expedition that Sir Hilary
Edmund Hillary.
Edmund Hillary was on. And that was really interesting
That
too.
sounds cool.
Again, why do you want to climb out? Like, that's why I'm fascinated with it. This is
the
a
compulsion.
place you know is probably going to kill you.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you're probably not going to make it to the top. And yet, hundreds of people every year go and do it. And some people do it multiple times. So that's just amazing. Amazing.
It's crazy. I read Into Thin Air and I watched the movie, but that's my
the movie
extent.
was the most recent movie.
Yeah.
Was really bad. I thought.
I mean, it's the only one I've seen, so I was like, I've seen worse.
Yeah, well, yes, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen, but to me, it wasn't truthful to the source material.
Oh, yeah, well, I saw that before I read the book, so I can't say.
Interesting.
I was unfamiliar with the source material when I saw it.
Yeah.
My brother was super into it, so I saw it with him. I think. I don't know.
I think it came out in like 15, 18,
like that.
somewhere. It was a while ago. And then board games, which we've talked about before.
You were very much into board games.
So much so that my husband and I are going on our second board game cruise.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. And we have recruited people to the cause.
That's amazing.
So we've got friends going with us this year. But so much so that we do our own top 10 lists at the end of the year. We do board game reviews. We talk about designing a board game. We will sit down on a Saturday with a game that we have no idea how to play and spend the entire day learning it. Oh, okay, now we figured it out. Let's break it all down and start over again. There's one game we started over like 3 times before we actually played it. It might have been we got to playing it on the 3rd time, but we had to start it over twice because the rules were...
Well, should recreation be this difficult?
Yes, because it's like a puzzle.
Ugh.
It is. So I find that when I am into a good board game, it is not about me winning against my peers. It is about understanding and playing the game the best I can. Because these are,
that's too challenging to be relaxing.
Well, I guess
like,
it's
do you feel relaxed at the end of one of these? Or do you feel tired?
It depends on the game. Some of them you feel tired. Yeah. But it's
I don't want to feel tired.
It's like people who do crossword puzzles for fun. Like, to me, that would be not fun.
I'm just trying to think of like a video game that like exhausts me. I'm like, why would I play that?
Well, do you have any video games where you're like really intense fighting and you're like, okay.
I set all my games to like easy mode these days. Like, I need to chill. Like, I am done. The years of me challenging myself are over.
Yeah.
I'm like, nope. Let me enjoy the story. Let me just move on. I don't need to die 1,000 times.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But I do have games that you could play too that are very just fun and easy.
There were a couple,
pretty
just to get it out there. There were a couple board game specific questions for you.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, we don't have time for all of these. But someone was like, well, one wasn't necessarily about board games. It's like, oh, Adrianne, if you had a YouTube channel, what would it be about? I'm like, board games. Let's not answer that one.
We actually
obviously
do.
Yeah. And then there would another one be like, oh, if you could get Drew into board games, what one would you pick? I'm like, I don't want to talk about that either. So let's move on to that.
Let's see.
So no. Hobbies. Talk about ducks.
Hobbies. And then, yes, I love ducks. I have been collecting ducks, again, since I was like in middle school.
Yeah, you like sharks too, don't you?
Oh, I love sharks. Yeah. I wanted to be a marine biologist for many, many, many years. And I probably know more about sharks than a normal person. I am nowhere near.
Give us a cool shark fact.
The oldest known shark, give or take about 20 years, is a Greenland shark, not all of them. And it is at least 392 years old, but it could be 20 years older than that.
At least
392.
392?
Yeah. And you know how they determine that? There's a protein in the eyeball of the shark that they can test. Don't ask me how they get that protein. I don't know if it's from a live shark, which I would assume.
That thing could have attacked a pirate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a classic pirate.
So I asked the leaders this morning to put these things in order. Trees, Polaris, the North Star, the rings of Saturn, and a shark. Or sharks in general. Which one's the oldest?
Tree.
Sharks.
All right.
Sharks are older than the rings of Saturn, then trees, and then the North Star.
Dang.
The oldest known shark fossil is around 450 million.
The North Star, isn't the North Star like already dead though, and we just can't see it?
No, I don't think it's...
I thought all the stars are pretty much dead.
I don't...
And we're just seeing leftover light?
I mean, I think if it died now, we would still be seeing it for however many light years it is away.
Well, yeah, of course, but it might be already dead.
I don't know about that. Maybe they can use that fancy telescope where they can like see the beginning of the universe.
Maybe they're just checking the star's eyeball to find out how.
Yeah, take the protein out.
All right. Number 4 comes to us from Laurel Peace, 1976. Hooray for Adrianne! Hooray! Topics. Your best Halloween costume. These are not very fountain pen specific, are they?
They are not.
Anyway, I asked everybody, I was like, hey, what questions do you have for me and Adrianne? I don't think a lot of them were fountain pen specific, but
That's okay.
Here, this is what we're going to do. Best Halloween costume. Here we go. Best Halloween costume in addition to best all-around everyday paper for fountain pens. Or is it entirely dependent on the ink? Better dog breed, Corgi or Golden Retriever? Love y'all.
Love that. All those questions
Yeah.
too.
So we do have some fountain pen adjacent stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
The Halloween costume I was most proud of is when I went as Black Canary from Arrow back when Arrow first premiered on, I want to say the CW.
Probably.
Yeah. So I did that and I had all sorts of, it was great. I will not be sharing a picture though.
Fishnets, right?
Fishnets.
Good.
The Scream.
Leather jacket?
Leather jacket.
Wait, the Scream?
Yeah, like anytime people would, I'd be like, because Black Canary has the...
Right, you would actually scream?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Because I can scream very loudly.
I'm like you listed the Scream as though it was an accessory or something. I'm like, did you have some sort of like
no,
speaker
I just
like
made
embedded
like
into your jacket?
Like I'm screaming.
You know, I named one of my dogs after her.
Dinah,
yeah.
Dinah.
Yep.
Oh, such a sweet girl. In terms of everyday paper, I am incredibly spoiled by getting to work here, so I have access to all the paper. So fountain pen friendly is pretty much what I use. I'm currently using a Rhodia Gold Book for everything, and that's great. But at home, I do have HP. I had to write it down so I'd get the right one. HP Bright White 24R paper, which is 24 pound. It's just a little bit thicker than regular printer paper. And I've actually been using that with some of my collages and stuff with fountain pen ink and paper. And it, unless I have like my stub nib with like Colorverse Andromeda, which is one of the longest, wettest, or like nitrogen, which is just gonna never dry, it does a pretty good job. So I would say if you're using a traditional fountain pen ink and nib size, that's what I'd recommend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Corgi or Golden Retriever?
Corgi.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Halloween costumes. My best looking one was probably the Doctor Strange costume that I wore last year.
That was
I didn't make that one though. I bought it. I did create the harness for the cape.
Yeah.
Because they sent it to me with like a clothespin for like a 20-pound cape. I'm like, what?
That's not going to stay
no,
on.
absolutely not. So I had to use I bought like a posture support harness from Amazon and then sewed in a bunch of rare earth magnets to it. So it's
Nice.
like a backpack now, like a cape backpack.
I love it.
So I did do some work to it, but I don't know if I could say that's my favorite because I didn't really do a lot of work to it, and I take pride in like costume work.
Yeah, you do.
So the one I did the most work on was when I was Snake from Metal Gear Solid 3, because I had to do a lot of research and purchasing a very different sort of military pouches because he wore. So looking at the character model, he wore some like a canteen holster from like World War II, and then a bunch of Vietnam era stuff. And then I needed to get custom like webbing done because he wears this like harness sort of deal.
I think you should say costume authenticity is another rabbit hole you go down.
I don't do anything halfway.
That's true.
And that's the same way with my opinion toward things. I'm either ambivalent or totally for or like no, sorry, I'm not ambivalent. I'm either like I hate it or I love it.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with any sort of task. I will go in all the way or just not do it at all.
That's true.
So I've never halfway done a Halloween costume before.
What about any of the Halloween costumes you've done for Archer?
Well, I love both of those.
Yeah. The one you did for him last year was amazing.
Yeah, that was actually 2 years ago. Last year he was merciful on me and just wanted to be an inflatable man being kidnapped by an alien. So.
Oh, that's.
But the year before that I did Nova. There was
was
lights and stuff.
Yeah, it was very impressive to
so
see.
So I'd probably say Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake, and then for paper. For letter writing, I still use Tomoe River 52 GSM.
Classic.
Because I love how lightweight it is.
Mm-hmm.
You can shove like 5 of those in an envelope, and it's like sending 2 pieces of paper.
Yeah.
So I like those a lot, especially if I'm writing long letters. For like journals and stuff like that, I mean, Rhodia is my go-to, but I really do like the Regalia paper from Endless. That's a recent go-to as well. So I'm less picky about paper for just everyday writing, note-taking purposes.
Yeah.
I love Maruman Nemosini.
Yes. Nemosini.
I use that the most in the office for sure.
Yeah.
I like the sizing options for those. They're good back pocket books.
Yeah. I like the cover is like, it's not a hard cover, but it's like a plastic cover. So it's the best of both worlds.
Right. And it doesn't get bent permanently. Like Rhodia, like if you bend it, it's bent forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, those would be my recommendations. And as far as dog breeds, Corgi or Golden Retriever, they're both fantastic. I have known many Golden Retrievers, and they are all wonderful, magical, delightful beasts. And you can just grab them and wrestle them to the ground and snuggle. And
they're always
just
happy.
They are just the best. Corgis are much more temperamental in my experience, but for me, Corgis are better. They work better. I feel like they're more comfortable and happy inside the house. And I honestly like a little bit of temperament. Honestly, I feel like I can connect a little bit better with Corgis just because they do have a bit of sass to them. And I'm like, so I can kind of like gauge their attitude a little bit more. Yeah. I'm like, what's going on with you? And I'm like, okay, I can tell what's going on with you. You're giving me some stuff. So I don't know. Maybe if I owned a Golden Retriever, I'd be able to pick that up. You can probably pick that up with any dog you live with long enough. But
absolutely.
For me, I'm gonna have to go with Corgi, not surprisingly. But Golden Retrievers, like, easily a second best for sure.
Oh yeah.
Love a Golden Retriever.
Love all dogs. Really.
All right. So we're gonna take it home now, Adrianne.
Okay.
It is the pen draft.
This is very exciting.
So, why don't you see what B Tomo 24 has prompted us with?
B Tomo 24 pen draft. You each get $1,000 and can draft any 5 pens to be on your pen roster. And once a pen has been chosen, it's off the board and can't be picked by anybody else.
All right. So our salary cap is $1,000. And presumably we can pick as many as we want as long as we don't go over that limit.
No, it says 5 pens.
5 pens. All right, good. Yes, 5 pens.
5 pens.
5 pens. Did you go with 5 pens we currently sell?
I did.
Me too. Okay.
Yeah,
good. We didn't talk about that, but
no, I assumed that was one of the.
So did I.
Yeah. I gotta look up some prices.
Great.
I forgot.
So I'm going to get a coin that I happen to have today. Today it is a relatively modern one from 1939. We've got a Walking Liberty $50 here. Yeah, look at her go. Boom, boom, boom.
How beautiful.
Pretty worn, but all right. Heads or tails for going first?
Tails.
Tails. All right. Literal tails because you go first.
Tails.
All right.
Okay.
So Adrian's picking first, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth until we've got our 5.
There we go.
Let me get a pen. Let's see.
Yeah, we've got to take notes. Well,
we're gonna do a brown Diplomat Arrow today.
Okay. Well, I brought my number 1 pick, my top draft.
Okay.
It is the Benu Euphoria Sangria.
Great.
I love it.
All right. And how much is that? How much are you spending on that one?
$150.
$150. Ooh, good one. Okay.
So.
All right. I was not going to pick that one, so you can have that one. All right. So, see, here's the thing. It's like I don't want to pick my favorite, but I think I'm going to pick one that I don't want you to take.
Oh.
Because I've got some I know you're not going to take.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I might surprise you. I have several lists.
All right. Well, I don't want you to take the E95S. So
that was on my list, but it got pushed off.
Okay.
So you can have it.
I'm taking the E95S for $144. The Pilot E95S.
Love it. You know, I was going to try to look up like basketball and football draft like stats, and then I realized that neither one of us would really care that much.
No.
So, no. Okay, so my second pick. We have talked about this brand a lot in the very recent past. You and I, not on the Pencast.
Oh, I know. It's Opus 88.
It is an Opus 88. It is the Opus 88 Demonstrator.
Okay. Go for it. How much is that one?
$120.
$120. All right. Very good. Okay. I should have known that one. Okay. All right. Next up, I'm going to have to go with my favorite pen, the Pilot Custom 912. And that is a whopping $280.
$280. Whew.
Yes, I want that Falcon nib. And I might enjoy the Falcon nib more on the 743, but I just love the flat top look. I do not jive with the rounded edges. I like the flat ones. So I'm going to go with that one. So I've got the E95 and the 912 for Drew Brown.
You were really leaning into Pilot there.
Oh, yeah. There's mostly Pilot on this list.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
there's only one Pilot on my list, but I'm going to claim it now.
Go for it.
Just in case. The Pilot Custom 823 with a medium nib.
Go for it.
I love that pen. Every time I write with it, I'm like, this is, to me, what every fountain pen experience should be, or at least one of your fountain pen experiences.
You're not wrong. And I would recommend it for others.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't need the capacity. So not on my list.
You'll notice actually that a lot of my pens are big capacity pens.
Mm-hmm. Well, so how much was that one?
I want to say it's like 336. I let me check.
Okay.
I should know. 336.
Boosh. All right. Well done. All right. So my third pen, I'm going to go with a pen that we were just talking about, and I was interrupting you and being rude about it. The Sailor, it's going to be a Sailor Pro Gear Slim for 220, but specifically, the Sailor prices are all over the place.
Right. So you got to be careful.
I got to specify. So this one is going to be the Moroccan Mint T. So that's 220.
220.
Yep. So I've got 2 Pilots and 1 Sailor here.
Where are we in terms of pricing?
I don't know where I'm at. I'm at 144, 280, and 220. I haven't hit 1,000 yet, but
144, 280, and 220.
Yeah, I did price out my dream team, so I know that this is included in there. So I haven't gotten to 1,000 yet for sure.
Yeah. So you and I are both. I'm at, if I did my math right, which I may or may not have, I'm at 600 and you're at 644.
All right.
So we still got some space.
All right. It's number 4 for you.
Number 4 for me is, I love small pens.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I love to find the smallest pen I can and write with it.
Love it.
So I'm going to go with the Kaweco Sport in the Pearlescence finish.
Nice.
Yes.
That's a good one.
It is so pretty.
Okay.
And I believe it's right at $30? $30, not 60.
30 with a question mark?
30 with a question mark.
Okay.
I'm gonna confirm that.
All right, well, in the meantime, since you started getting all up in some Kaweco, I'm going to, just for safety purposes, claim my $60 Kaweco Lilliput in green.
That was almost. I
Okay.
was so close. The reason I went with the Sport is because I can eyedropper convert it. Again, big ink capacity.
I love my green Lilliput.
Yeah.
That is my go-to tiny pen. I mean, the E95 is a great small pen, but
yeah,
that $60 Lilliput is such a good deal. It's $60. It's the freaking tiniest thing in the world. I love it. Love it so much.
Yes, it is $30.
30. Okay. All right. So we both got our Kaweco fix, perhaps.
630. Are we on our last one?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, this isn't. Wait, what have you said again? You've done all Pilot, right?
Yeah, the E95S, the 912, the Lilliput, and the Pro Gear Slim.
And the Pro Gear Slim. Okay, I am going to bring it home with a TWSBI 580 ALR.
All right.
Prussian blue. Specifically that color, because it is wonderful.
You gave me your Prussian blue.
I did, and I'm regretting that, except I think I don't remember.
You traded, yeah.
I traded you the Prussian blue and the Iris VAC for...
Of which I have both if you want to trade them back, if you got something else.
No. I traded those for the Monte Grappa.
Mm-hmm.
That first...
The Elmo.
Yeah, that first Elmo, we did the exclusive one.
Okay. All right. I've got some... All right, so the last one for you. So, oh my gosh. All right. I'm having a tough time with this one. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay. I can't. I'm going to go over if I pick the...
65.
I'm going to go over if I pick the 743. So, all right. I am going to go with for $200. That will leave me at $904. The Pilot Falcon. So
Solid.
Yep, that
Solid.
one. I it was between that and the Shown Pocket 6
Oh, yeah.
in Dark Matter.
That would have been a great option.
But the Pilot is a little bit more expensive, and I'm trying to get closer to my cap. And while the Shown is fun, the Pilot, if I'm only going to have these pens, the Pilot gives me a completely unique writing experience.
That's true. Yeah.
So I want to have. I don't have any. That's not true. I already got my 912. That has a Falcon nib on it. Maybe I shouldn't pick a Falcon. Crap. No, I'm still going with the Falcon.
There we go. I love it. Commitment.
Yep.
I mean, that would be like in sports. I'm going to say in basketball, if you have like.
Nope. I changed my mind.
Going
with the Pocket 6. 170 for the Pocket 6. So a little bit under 900, but that's going to be my thing.
I'm actually.
I forgot that I already had the Falcon nib on the 912, so I don't need that because the Falcon is like really light too. It probably is going to write better than the 912, but then I have two pocket pens though.
You could swap out the 912 for the Falcon.
No.
Oh.
God no.
Oh, okay.
Why would I do that?
I don't know.
912's the best. All right, no, I'm going to go with the Dark Matter. So
you should let me pick you a pen. I'll find the most obnoxious one.
I'm going to commit to it. So, Shown Pocket 6 Dark Matter, which we're almost sold out of, by the way. They might be gone by the time this airs. 912 Pilot 912, Kaweco Lilliput, Pilot E95S, and then the Sailor Moroccan Mint Pro Gear Slim.
Nice. And
recap
for
yours?
me, the Benu Euphoria Sangria, the Opus 88 Demo, the Kaweco Sport in the pearlescent finish, the Pilot Custom 823, and the TWSBI 580 ALR in Prussian Blue.
And you actually own most of these already, don't you?
I don't own an Opus. Well, I do own an Opus.
You don't have the big one.
That
yeah, okay.
I have a mini one.
Yeah.
And I don't own an 823.
Okay.
But I'm thinking that I'm going to have to rectify that.
I own a Pro Gear Slim. I own the Lilliput. I own the 912. I own the E95S. So I own all of mine except for the Shown.
So that's not really like an exercise in imagination. You just like what you like.
I do, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But I really should buy that pen before it goes away because I'm going to be real sad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there is our pen draft. That was a fun little exercise. I might do that again with Brian to see what his answers are and how different they would be. I feel like I would be way more competitive with Brian because we'd be picking a bunch of pilots.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a little bit, we would definitely get more variety with you involved.
Oh,
for
yes.
Sure.
Because I have absolutely no rules when it comes to the fountain pen.
No,
I get anything.
You like a
and
variety.
Everything. I do.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is the Q&A section of this episode of Goulet Pencast. If you'd like to email us, you can do so using info@gouletpens.com. No, sorry. That's not email. That's them. If you want to talk to customer care, email info@gouletpens.com. If you'd like to email the Pencast, it's pencast@gouletpens.com if you have questions. But of course, you can always drop questions into the comment section here on YouTube. But if you're an audio listener, email me.
Yeah.
Pencast@gouletpens.com. All right. And next up, in lieu of yet another pen spotlight, we're going to spotlight another member of the team. And this time it is Brandon, who is our fulfillment specialist 3. I had a chance to sit down with him and we talked about a bunch of random stuff. Now, we are not focusing as much about the person's job when it comes to these interviews. We're just literally getting to know them. I'm just asking them.
We have some really awesome people here that we get to talk to all the time.
Heck yeah.
So now everybody gets to meet them.
Yeah, so enjoy a little bit of Brandon. Hi, everybody. I'm here with Brandon.
That's me.
Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Drew.
So you occupy a role of employee here at the Goulet Pen Company in the warehouse.
I do.
Your title is what exactly?
Fulfillment specialist number 3.
And are you the only 3?
The only 3.
Okay, so right now, there's not a whole lot of people back there, and you're pretty much the decision maker today, aren't you?
Today, yeah.
Has that been weird today? Have you had anything funky come at you?
Not really.
Is that a good thing or bad thing? Like, do you wish, like, hey, I'm the head honcho today, you want something to come at you that you get to problem? No.
No. No.
But then you can be like, hey, I can take care of business. I'm Brandon. Boom. We don't need none of y'all.
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay. Well, you didn't have to, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how long have you worked here, and what did you do before here?
It'll be 9 years in January.
9? See,
Yeah.
Micah just said 8, and I'm like, I don't remember if Brandon was here before or after Micah. It's like, after 5
Yeah.
years, it's just,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I remember 8 when he interviewed.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much 10.
Pretty much. Wow. I mean, might as well just say I'm 10.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And what did you do before?
Worked at Staples for 9 years.
That's right. Do you wish that we had like a uniform, like an outfit,
No.
so you could put on,
No.
got a nice red
No.
shirt? No.
No.
Do you still have your red shirt?
No.
You don't?
No.
See,
No.
I still kept my Circuit City shirts after I left.
Why?
I don't know. They didn't ask for them back. I think they made us pay for them.
No, we didn't. We didn't have to pay for them.
So
The company paid for them.
both of our retail experience put us in red shirts.
Did you had to wear khakis?
Yeah.
We had to wear black pants, which was awful, especially in the summertime.
Yeah, I think we could wear black or khaki. We couldn't wear jeans. I think later in Circuit City's history, they said jeans were okay after they were like, we're going out of business. We should do all we can. Hey, you know what, guys? Wear jeans. Pulling out all the stops. We're letting our people wear jeans. We're gonna beat Best Buy. No. Nope.
Were they polos too?
Yeah.
It was the worst in the summertime.
Yeah. And the collars were all like scratchy on your neck and stuff like that. Like,
I spent most of my time in like our receiving area,
Oh,
and
yeah?
they didn't have any AC back there,
oh gosh. And you help out in the receiving area here sometimes
which
too.
is a blessing because there's AC back there.
Yeah, the whole
Yeah.
warehouse is air conditioned
Yeah.
here. That is
Yeah.
delightful. Well, that's cool. Personally, about Brandon, outside of work. Well, speaking of work, you don't really do the whole fountain pen thing, do you? Nah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Outside of work, what is your oldest hobby? The thing that you've been into the longest, like from wee lad Brandon, little mini Brandon. What was mini Brandon into that old man Brandon is still into?
Baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah, baseball was my first love.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Pretty much from T-ball all the way up to high school.
are the Mariners your team?
No, the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays. Okay.
Probably should have worn my jersey today. That would have been.
Because sometimes is that a Mariners hat?
Well, I mean, this is King Griffey Jr.
Which is technically it's the Mariners colors.
And he was my favorite player.
I'm
growing
trying to
up.
know things about baseball, man. You're not letting me. Okay. Blue
King Griffey
Jays.
Jr. was my favorite
All right.
growing up.
That's
I mean,
the-
I think
I know like 5 things about baseball, and that's one of them. Was that
Yeah.
King Griffey Jr. was on the Mariners.
I feel like everybody from my generation that loved baseball loved King Griffey Jr.
Well, he had the video game.
Yeah, video game. He had the backwards hat. He had the swag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. So the
Nobody else was doing
so
it
it's
either.
has it always been the Blue Jays?
I was a Mariners fan in the beginning, but when I had my first year of kids pitch, we were the Blue Jays.
Kids pitch.
Yeah,
Is that like Little League? Mm-hmm. Same thing?
yeah. But it was just, you had the kids pitch instead of the coaches pitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so literal kids pitch. Oh, that's
And we were the
legit.
Blue Jays, and I was like, well, if I'm gonna love this, I need a team and stick with the team. So
So you went all in. How about that?
yeah,
My little league team was the Orioles. So I guess in a way, like when I would see Orioles merge, I'd feel a certain connection to it. Oh, that's interesting. I
Yeah.
never thought about that.
and I've been to Milwaukee to see a Brewers game when they play the Blue Jays. I've been to Baltimore to see the Blue Jays play, and I get stopped by Canadians asking me if I'm from Canada, and they've said they've never met somebody from the United States who love the Blue Jays. Yeah.
What? I was like,
Yeah.
what about your face looks Canadian? Like, oh, okay. I'm like trying to figure out why do they think you're a Canadian? Okay,
Yeah.
that's strange. Really?
Yeah.
I guess I don't. I don't hear people talk about baseball nearly as much as football here, but
Yeah.
I can't recollect anybody ever saying anything about Blue Jays. So
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
mean, if you really, especially for like ESPN and the coverage of baseball, they never covered the Blue Jays just because it's Canada.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
What about a new hobby? Something you've like kind of recently got into?
sports cards. Since the pandemic, I've gotten. Well, I wasn't a sports card collector when I was a kid. I think a lot of people were.
Yeah.
But like I really got back into it during the pandemic.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
we saw fountain pens get really popular in the pandemic, and then you talk to Trevor, he said that vinyl record prices went up. Talk to Micah, he says Pokemon cards went up.
Yeah.
I can't buy retro video games anymore because those are too expensive for me to buy.
Yeah.
So you had for me it was Game Boy stuff. I got into Game Boy stuff in the pandemic. So you jumped into the whole. Have you found any like really cool rookie cards or anything like that since you jumped in?
Right now,
Are you buying packs or are you buying individual cards?
So I used to buy packs, but then then I would just want to collect the players that I want.
Right.
But it's also cool to rip
the
packs.
thrill of the hunt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Probably my most expensive card that I've pulled out of a pack is a Juan Soto who used to play for the Nationals. He plays for the Padres now.
Okay. So are you only doing baseball cards? You're doing all
I
sports?
do baseball, hockey, and some of football.
Okay, so sorry,
Yeah.
I interrupted you about
Yeah.
the valuable one.
It's right now. It's a very rare card, but it's like close to $1,000. Yeah,
Oh dang,
they've only printed maybe 30 of them.
that's a good chunk of a Disney trip right there.
Maybe like a half a day.
When you
maybe
when you get really desperate.
maybe.
Speaking of Disney, do you have a favorite place to vacation or visit?
Yeah, it's Disney World, obviously.
We're gonna get more into that later because
Yeah.
Brandon and I have a bit of a feud going on there.
Feud.
Yeah. If you could have 3 unlimited condiments come out of your hands, like unlimited, like you always have, like for me, red pepper flakes. I want red pepper flakes on everything. I want it everywhere I go. 3 unlimited that you could just summon. What would they be? What do you put on everything? Or maybe one that like is hard to find. You don't always have it available. Like ketchup's a dumb one. You don't want to do ketchup because you can always find ketchup.
Well, I mean that's what I always put in my hot dog sandwich.
But Brandon, we actually talked about that last week on the Pencast.
Oh, did you?
About sandwich definitions, and of course Brian went on this deep dive about like how certain states have certain laws about what's a sandwich and what's not. Apparently New York thinks everything's a sandwich, including burritos. Like legally, like a wrap is a sandwich, a burrito is a sandwich. So
Like anything with bread is now a sandwich.
pretty much, as far as New York, because they can tax it differently, I guess. So I don't know. New York thinks everything's a sandwich.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, let's skip the condiment thing because you're just a straight up ketchup jabroni.
Well, ketchup and mustard.
All right. Hey,
Yeah.
all American. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Favorite movie, Brandon?
I've got a lot. Well,
Just
not a lot.
pick a couple that pop in the brain.
Like my top 3 is Shawshank Redemption,
oh yeah,
The Sandlot,
accidental Macho Man there. Sorry.
Sandlot,
Oh, okay.
just because it reminds me of me and my brother playing baseball as kids. Man, yeah, it's tough.
Is it gonna be another sports movie?
No,
No?
it's probably the Goonies.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah,
Cindy Lauper.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
thank you. I heard the Goonies, like the soundtrack, the dun 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 dun, like in like a commercial recently.
Really?
Yes, and it was like blowing my mind because I couldn't think of what it was. But I'm like, that's the freaking Goonies song, and no one knew what I was talking about. Like, yo, listen, that's a Goonies song. It's like, what are you talking about? It's just random music.
Every time I hear Cindy Lauper's voice, I think of the Goonies.
Obviously
Yeah.
that's the song, but then they had like the actual theme. The theme was playing in a commercial.
Was it a car chase?
No, it was just like a I don't know, like a
I mean, it's a great car chase.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
theme.
But that's the theme. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
a college ad or something like that. I don't know. I'll have to find it for you.
That's weird.
It freaked me out, man. But oh god, I love the Goonies. And also it's an 85 film.
That's when I was born.
Yeah. So that's almost as good as 84. Almost as good. All right, favorite type of music, Brandon? What do you listen to?
Pretty much anything, really.
Yeah, I don't actually know what you listen to.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of old stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like even old video game stuff.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I could listen to old video game stuff all day
Yeah.
long. Heck yeah, man. All right, let's move on to some Brandon-centric discussions. Let's revisit. We're going to talk about the Disney thing. Brandon and I, we love going to Disney World when our budgets are kind to us and when we can afford it. We both love Epcot. If you've ever been to Epcot, you're faced with a decision. You either go left and start with Mexico in the World Showcase, or some people go right and start at Canada and work their way around and finish in Mexico. Brandon, I think you're in the minority here.
That's fine.
I don't think that the world recognizes Canada as the official starting point.
Well, I mean, there'll be less people that way.
Okay, well, make a case for me. Why do you have to be so counterculture and deny the proper Mexico starting point? You know what? I know what it is. You want to save the Three Caballeros ride for last because it is the best.
No.
That's it. It's the best for last, right?
No, it's not.
It's because you get to Figment first?
Well, sometimes we go to Figment and it's kind of behind that way, so it's easier to go.
I should have known. I should have known Figment was behind your madness.
Figment is great. That's also another.
It is another point of contention. Oh my god. Okay. Also, I need to pick a bone. I have a bone to pick with you.
Mm-hmm.
I was not interested at all in professional wrestling for over 10 years. And yet,
till this past year.
And then now Brandon just starts peppering in little bits of conversation, perking my ears up. I'm like, oh, well, that sounds interesting. Let me look that up. And before I know it, my Instagram feed is just flooded with pro wrestling stuff that I keep on clicking on.
You're welcome.
And now this year I've watched...
That's probably my fault too.
Absolutely. Now this year alone, I've probably watched like 3 events, of which I haven't watched any. So
you're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Someone said to me last week, Drew doesn't ever stop being interested in anything. And I would have said that wasn't true because I did stop being interested in pro wrestling, but now I can't say that about anything. If I'm into it, I kind of stay into it.
Yeah.
You're that way in a lot of ways too, aren't you? Like you seem to you and I talk a lot about like stuff from our childhood that we're still super into. Maybe our generation just didn't grow up.
Maybe. It's possible.
That makes us extremely susceptible to marketing efforts too.
For sure.
Well. I don't care. I'm here for it. Oh well. So if you go over to your packing station where Brandon sits and packs his orders, I will say it has more personality than most of the other tables over there.
Oh, thanks.
You've got a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah.
Most of it has to do with the Philadelphia Flyers.
Some of it, yeah.
I see a lot of orange and black.
Yeah.
Just if I squint my eyes, I see a lot of... Where does that interest come from and why is it so prevalent?
It's depressing.
Being a fan is depressing?
Being a fan of that team is depressing.
Is it like the Browns?
Or
the Lions? I know they lose all the time.
Well, the Lions are coming around.
Lions are doing okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
They're coming around.
Okay.
Yeah, they have not won since the 70s.
Wait, what do you mean not won?
A Stanley Cup since the 70s.
Oh.
They've been to 2 Stanley Cup finals twice. One, they got swept. And the other, they lost in 6 games.
So are you just a glutton for punishment, or
I don't know.
you just really like their mascot?
Yeah. I was a fan from before the mascot, but
wait, they didn't have the mascot?
No, mascots. Gritty has only been there for 4 years, 4 or 5 years.
That's it?
Yeah.
Who'd they have before that?
Nothing. No, just a bunch of depressed, Philadelphia people.
Well, I was like, well, they had to have a flyer or something. Like something no?
Nope, had nothing.
Huh.
And now Gritty is now the face of the whole entire franchise. So that tells you where the state of the team is.
So instead of focusing on the players and their accomplishment, they have to market
Gritty.
Oh.
And now he has his own section in the arena where he just does
Well, you
chaos.
know what? I bet you there are teams in the NHL that lose just as much as the Flyers, but don't have an awesome mascot, right?
Maybe. They do this fan voting thing at the end of the year. And I feel like Gritty should win every year because as anybody else talks about is Gritty from the mascot world. But how does the Vegas Golden Knights mascot win anything?
Is it just a knight?
I don't know what he is, but his name is Chance, being Las Vegas. And, yeah, boo.
Yeah.
But hey, they won a Stanley Cup last year, so I can't get that mad.
Forget the Golden Knights. They cheated. All right. Let me do one more. Let's see. Oh. No, you know what? I think we covered everything.
Did we?
I think we did. That's it. Well, Brandon, thank you for allowing all of them the opportunity to get to know your fabulous self.
A hairy face.
It's certain, yes, also that. Thank you, Brandon.
Sure.
Thank you. Okay. That was Brandon and all of his delightfulness.
Love it.
And, we will continue this for as long as I want to. So,
And you have people interested in?
Yes, we've got it.
We've got it. You've got a good list, though.
Oh, yeah. We'll have at least, 6 more of these for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So now we can move on to the what's happening section and just kind of just chat about what's going on in our lives.
Ooh, I love
Adrianne.
it. I love knowing what's going on in your life.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to talk a little bit about my wife,
Okay.
who does not like fountain pens,
Okay.
nor does she like roller balls. She likes
What does
the
she like to write with?
dry ballpoints.
Like-
She likes the Bic stick, the Bic crystal, the the lamest, most. She likes a good clicky like multi pen.
Oh.
Like just
Oh.
pasty sadness. Oh yeah.
Does she do that to troll you?
No, she doesn't like wetness on the
Oh,
page. She doesn't
okay.
like smeariness, so she has no patience for anything that's going to smear.
Fair.
So not even a wet roller ball. So
Fair.
she won't even really write with a Retro 51 because it's too wet.
It's too wet.
Yeah.
I can respect that. I don't agree.
Yeah. So very utilitarian when it comes to writing.
Yeah.
So we had my grandmother's birthday recently, and of course it's me. I happen to have I have my fountain pens here. Like these were in my bag at home, because really these are the only pens I have inked up at any given time. So,
Yeah.
But if these happen to stay at work, because I bring them back and forth in my bag, but sometimes I don't bring my bag home, then I have no fountain pens at home. So I keep some varsities there.
Fair.
So the varsities are always in the drawer. I pulled out a varsity in this case to write on my grandmother's birthday card, left it out, and it just kind of made its way into Shannon's hands for here and there.
Yeah.
And she comes and tells me the other day, she's like, Drew, I've been writing with that varsity. And I'm just like hanging on like, yes. And she says, reluctantly, I like it. And I'm like, that's fine. You don't need to be reluctant about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm glad. Like, you don't need to be at odds. She's like, no, it writes every time. It's smooth.
It dries really quickly.
Yeah.
Like the pilot ink does dry
I'm
quickly.
like, oh, thank you. She's not a monster after all. It's so
She
pleasing.
was really hinging on this.
No, she still doesn't like Star Wars, so it's all right. Irreconcilable differences. It's all right.
Yeah.
You know what? If she was perfect, I wouldn't believe she existed, right?
That's true.
She's just a mirage.
That is true.
Oh, Shannon. So that was delightful.
That is wonderful.
Yes. Just gonna rant a little bit. Gonna get up
Okay.
on a soapbox for a moment.
Excellent.
If you don't mind. Yesterday, I went to Popeye's Chicken.
Okay.
Bought a combo
Okay.
because I needed to go to Michael's Crafts over here, and I was like, all right, this is on the way. Do you want to know how much I paid for just the 3-piece chicken tender meal?
Sides?
What it came with. So it's just
3-piece chicken
So, yeah, it
tender
came
meal
with-
with sides and a drink.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say $9.47.
$11.99.
What?
$11.99.
And I thought I was actually going high.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Right?
That is ridiculous.
it wasn't even that good.
No.
And they forgot my blackened ranch dipping sauce.
Oh. duh.
$11.99.
Not
and I
good
couldn't
at
even,
all.
This isn't even the 5-piece. This is the 3-piece.
Yeah, that's like $4 a tender.
Fast food right now
Yeah,
is
it's-
neither fast nor affordable. What are we doing here?
Well, it's like over a year ago when I went to Chipotle and I got a Chipotle bowl. I did add guac and I did get a drink. But when it was all said and done, it was $23. It's like, I can't afford to eat this.
Killing me. And like, if I'm going to put unhealthy stuff in my body, I at least want it to be affordable.
Yes.
Come on. Like,
There's a whole reason it's garbage food is you
Yeah.
want it to be
Right.
cheap and accessible.
I'm making a sacrifice here. Like,
Right.
help me out.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't wanna be
sacrificing my
healthy.
well-being
Yeah.
in my lifespan.
None of this healthy nonsense.
Oh my god.
Oh,
but
that is absurd. Was it good?
no.
Not even a little bit?
No, it was like I asked for it spicy, and I don't think it was spicy. They didn't give me my sauce. I was
Who
like,
has the best chicken tenders then, in your opinion?
ooh, Bojangles.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Supremes.
Definitely Bojangles.
Love them.
Yeah.
Agree.
So I
agree.
Bo has my loyalty. I will not be going to
Yeah.
Popeyes.
Nope.
But still, Bo's not cheap either. So anyway, off the soapbox, just did a little thing. After Michael's, I went and bought some styrofoam balls because I need to do like a nib demonstration later in another video. It was right next to Five Below. I'm like, let me pop into Five Below and just see what they got. I bought some freeze-dried candy. So I've been following this candy place on Instagram, Popping Candy. It's like UK based candy store, and they'll actually do videos on like putting a bunch of candy in a freeze dryer, like gummy root beers, you know those things.
Yeah.
They'll freeze dry them. They'll pull them out, and they're just like they look like Cheetos.
Like, because they get all puffy?
Yeah, they're all puffy, full of like, they're just no moisture at all. Just completely crunchy, like pork rinds.
Oh my God. Do they taste like?
So I've always been curious. I've put a bunch of stuff in my cart, but they're in the UK, so shipping is like, $30.
Yeah.
For like some candy. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. So I found at Five Below, they had freeze-dried Skittles and freeze-dried Bright Crawlers, the gummy sour worms. So I bought some of those. And the Skittles are like, they look like they've exploded, like Skittles popcorn. So there's a big white center where the middle is, and then they're kind of like capped with the candy shell. Those were delicious.
Oh.
They still tasted like Skittles, but they're totally crunchy.
So like Skittles, not cheese ball, like the cheese.
Yeah, not quite as big. Still a little more dense because Skittles are very dense.
That's true.
But the gummy worms, they inflated to like this larger than a Cheeto. And they were just, it was like eating a sugary gummy pork rind. Like the texture was that of a pork rind.
Oh, that sounds odd.
It was very odd. But the flavor was gummy worm, a sour gummy worm.
I'm going to have to, you said Five Below?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go get some of those
so
Skittles.
Funky.
That's,
And of course, they're both $5, which I'm like, why am I paying $5
but it's still less than $30 and then like a bajillion in shipping.
Just grouchy about prices right now. So anyway, that was fun. Did that yesterday.
Yeah.
And over the weekend, we went with our friends and their kid, who is best pals with Archer, Sal. And we went and took them to the pumpkin patch and let them pick a pumpkin.
Aww.
Of course, Shannon and I have an agreement, this year where we're only doing that one pumpkin patch pumpkin because those are always overpriced.
Yep.
And then we're just going to, if we want any more pumpkins, we'll go to the grocery store and get them. So that's what we did. He picked out his one pumpkin.
Nice.
Did that whole thing. It was nice because it wasn't like you didn't have to take a little hay ride to get to the field or anything. It was right there. They had just thrown the pumpkins into a field. This wasn't actually a cut your own pumpkin scenario. So, okay, whatever. That's fine.
I didn't know there was an option to cut your own pumpkin.
Yeah, we've gone to like legit pumpkin patches before where they're growing there in the field. But then they're like the pumpkin patches where they just kind of drop them off a truck in a field. You know?
That's what I've been to.
Yeah, no, they're legit ones, and we've done that before. But you always have to like drive to them. It's all muddy. You have to do a long walk, and it's just, and then they're super expensive. So not worth it. We had the whole experience. We got out there, let them pick one, so it worked out. So that was nice, pleasant. Weather was good, a little cool, but fine. And then after that, we went to Splootfest, which was a locally organized corgi meetup at Hardywood Park Craft Brewery.
Oh my goodness.
There were probably 200 plus corgis there.
Oh my gosh.
Shannon has been following their Facebook group for months as they organized this. It was the first one they did. They had food trucks, events, they had vendors, people making corgi related crafts and leashes and snacks and stuff.
I was going to say, you had to have homemade treats.
Oh, so much. It was absolute chaos though. So as we were getting there, we saw like hordes of dogs leaving. We're like, oh no, we missed it. Nope, still plenty. And it was, they had a lot of stuff there. The attendance was great, but it was just madness. So there was a tent that had all the little vendors in there, but you could only kind of go out the same way you got in. So it was really kind of crowded in there. Yeah. And there was no flow. They said later on the Facebook group that like, hey, we learned a lot. We'll figure some stuff out next year. Let us know your feedback. So
that's
we'll
cool.
Probably try again, but yeah.
Are corgis like herding dogs?
Yes.
So were they like all trying to hurt each other? Were they trying to hurt the humans?
No, they were all pretty chill.
Chilling?
Yeah, they're all pretty chill. And they're not particularly aggressive dogs either. So like I didn't hear a lot of barking. I'd heard no like fighting or growling or anything like that. Like they're just chill.
They're just such distinguished dogs.
They are. They're very distinguished dogs.
Very distinguished.
So yeah, we kind of were like, all right, this is kind of crazy. I don't know what to do. We're just kind of like standing around with our dog and we're like, all right, what do we do now? I don't know. So we just kind of left. We showed up, we saw it. It was insane. And then we booked out of there early. So
give it a year or two to
I don't know what I was expecting. Like, what are we doing? Are we like letting them do, like they had like a little agility tryout thing, but we only saw that when we were leaving. We're like, oh, there's a thing. He could have run through a little tunnel. And
Was this Hank or Felix?
we
or-
brought Hank and Felix.
Okay.
We did not bring Dinah because she had a skin infection the previous week. So we're just like, we're going to leave that alone, let her
Yep.
completely heal.
Yep.
So that was a thing. Right before we went to that, my wife's sister and brother-in-law arrived with their kid to stay with us for the week.
Nice.
So we dragged them over there too.
Of course.
They were probably exhausted, but they're there for this week. Shannon's got the
nice.
week off, so they're doing stuff. They're just kind of hanging out in Carytown today, and so we'll probably do something. I might take off Thursday if I get enough work done to go to Williamsburg with them. But
I say you can have it off.
I know I got to get that video done though.
Oh.
The troubleshooting one.
Yeah, you do.
Ugh.
Ooh. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I need to build.
But it's Williamsburg.
I know. Well, we go there all the time. It's not
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to try to do that. We'll see. But I'm taking all next week off.
Right.
So I need to figure out what to do there. There's a UFC on Saturday too that I'm gonna try to hit, but next week is all.
That's your video week.
No, I'm not gonna work.
No. You watch videos.
I'll watch videos. Yeah, I was gonna watch some movies.
Yeah.
I have a list. I don't know what to watch, but I thought about just watching all the Batman movies, but then
I've seen a random smattering of the Batman movies.
I mean I've definitely seen them all, but I don't want to watch Batman and Robin. All right, so here's my list:
That was
The
bad.
Abyss,
Okay.
Knives Out,
Great.
Sherlock Holmes 2, because I've recently watched the first one, Game of Shadows, the one I
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
watch. Ford versus Ferrari,
Nope.
LA Confidential, Gladiator, John Bronco Rides Again. I already saw John Bronco. It's amazing. If you haven't seen John Bronco, watch it. Shang-Chi, I only saw that once, want to watch it again.
Is that the Legend of Shang-Chi
Yeah,
Shang-Chi
Marvel.
and okay.
The Invention of Lying, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent,
Oh, I wanna
Stargate.
see
I haven't
that
seen
one.
Stargate since I was a kid. Watchmen, just got in the mood. I want to watch Watchmen again. Death on the Nile, and the other Poirot movie that Kenneth
Murder
Branagh.
on the Orient
Yeah.
Express?
No, watch that one. But there's
Oh, okay.
two more have come out since then.
Oh.
Yeah. So I want to watch those.
Huh. Yeah.
Batman movies, maybe. Gangs of New York, definitely. Total Recall, and Vice. Well, the Cheney movie
Wow.
with Christian Bale. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I got to pick like 4 of these.
That is
maybe.
a lot. You've
It
got
is.
some really good ones.
Most of them I've seen already.
Yeah.
I just want to watch them again.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then I got to work on Archer's costume. I got to paint,
Yeah, because that's coming up.
weather allowing. Yeah.
Right,
It's
right.
primed. I just gotta paint it.
Yeah. Nice.
So yeah, that's my what's happening.
Cool.
What's going on with you?
Well, I celebrated a birthday this past weekend.
Oh, cool.
Well, my birthday wasn't this weekend, it was last week. But we
Wait, your birthday?
yeah.
You celebrated your birthday?
Yeah, my birthday was last week.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday!
Thank you. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I'm older than you.
Hey, just by a
Yay.
tiny bit.
Just a little tiny bit. But we did a 90s style party. And
That's awesome.
if I do say so myself, it was awesome.
Did you write names on the cards for the seating arrangement or the snacks?
No, because it was like a just come, but I should have taken a picture. Maybe I can get you a picture by the time this airs, but I did 4 different pages with like 90s slang, a this or that, 90s movies, and
Give us a this or that example.
Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, Dragon Ball Z. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh. Really.
Everybody chooses Dragon Ball Z. Obviously, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys.
I always got them confused. I think all of the songs that I attributed to Backstreet Boys, I later found out were NSYNC songs.
So you're an NSYNC person.
I guess.
Yeah.
You know what I will say? I will say during the time where I was watching a ton of MTV,
Uh-huh.
there was Christina Aguilera's Genie in a Bottle.
Uh-huh.
There was Chris Cornell's something where he's like in a burning room, but it was an awesome song.
Mm-hmm.
There was Jennifer Lopez, Waiting for Tonight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then there was NSYNC, Larger Than Life.
That's Backstreet
Backstreet Boys. Crap!
That is
Oh my
Backstreet
God.
Boys.
All right, so that song, I love the music video of that song.
Yes.
One of them's like flying in space.
It is
and
a
the others
really
do like
good-
a robot dance with a bunch of CG robots behind him.
Yeah.
So that song I thought was cool.
That is I
But like
approve of that.
in any of those songs, I just have a very fond memory of because like we would wake up in the morning before the bus came, we would just turn on MTV.
Yep.
And those like that batch of songs. I guess it was like 2001 maybe 2000.
98.
98?
98, 99?
Really? Okay, I
Maybe?
don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
It was high school for both of us.
Right. But it wasn't late high school for me because I was still in my old house.
Okay.
So I don't know. But yeah. that group of songs and those music videos, like Power Man 5000 was on there. Worlds Collide. That one, all around that same time period.
Yeah.
So I guess Backstreet Boys then.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We had adult Lunchables. So instead of like not great sandwich meat, we had
That wet sandwich meat?
we had salami and pepperoni.
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
Jamon.
You told me
Jamon.
about that because you were talking about how you needed to find Dunkaroos.
Yes.
Did you find Dunkaroos?
I found Dunkaroos.
Yes.
And
Okay.
everybody was so excited.
Now, did you get chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla, the
Okay.
original.
Awesome.
Yeah.
They
the
have
original.
both out
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay.
No. So we did
Oh,
Dunkaroos.
so glad. Okay.
We did the Lunchables, the adult Lunchables.
Right.
Ricky made homemade bagel bites.
Ooh.
So he did homemade bagels, homemade marinara pizza sauce.
Ooh.
He didn't do the homemade cheese, but that's just because we ran out of time.
You need to have cheese cubes that don't melt ever.
Yeah. We could have probably made that happen if we'd gotten like a vegan cheese because that doesn't melt so much, but we just did regular mozzarella.
We have bagel bites in the freezer right
And then
now.
guess what we had as our prime drink option? And it was a non-alcoholic drink.
It couldn't have been Surge.
No,
Okay.
sadly, no.
All right, yeah.
But it does start with an S.
Oh my gosh.
Sunny D.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and again,
I cannot
everybody
remember the last time I've had Sunny D.
You drink it now and you're like, this is just sugar water.
Oh God.
It is so.
I can feel it in the back of my throat already.
But so we found the little like 8-ounce, which was great.
Yeah.
Because it was little. And then we had the makings for White Russians, if anybody wanted that, because Big Lebowski was really popular. And we had 90s music and 90s movies playing on.
Oh, that sounds
we
awesome.
played Balderdash, which is a fun game.
That is a fun game.
Just
See,
had
that's
really
a game
good
I could
time.
play because
Yeah.
it doesn't involve pieces or a
Nope.
board.
And it's really just making up stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
And
great.
being confident about your nonsense.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a really, really good time. And then Sunday, Ricky and I got both our COVID and our flu shots.
Yeah.
And that was not as much fun as the party.
It wiped you out.
Party was way more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Now
No,
fall over
feel,
for a day.
Feel not great. But,
Yeah.
you know,
Were you off all yesterday?
no, I worked all day yesterday.
did?
I just,
Oh, okay.
I
You
just
just
felt,
felt like crap.
like garbage.
Oh,
yeah.
God. I thought you were off.
No,
Oof.
I just worked from home and like the day ended at 5. I closed my computer. I scooched like one pillow over on the couch and lay down and took like an hour and a half nap because I was so tired.
Adrianne.
Yeah. And then the thing that's coming up is I'm going to Belgium for 2 weeks. Well, Ricky's coming with me.
When did that materialize?
A year ago. My very best friend in the whole wide world lives in Brussels. And
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
yes,
Huh.
he and I like this.
You have not told me about this relationship.
Yeah.
How about that? All right.
Yeah, so we're going to go to Brussels and
Dang.
maybe Bruges, Ghent, some other
What?
little cities around, and we're going to go to Amsterdam. And I'm so excited because there's one of the best Van Gogh museums.
I did know you were going to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Okay. Golly,
Yeah.
see, I've got little
Yeah.
segments.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm so excited about the Van Gogh Museum. It's just, it's going to be amazing. And the canals, and I don't know about the Anne Frank house, but I don't know like how much in advance you have to get tickets, and our dates aren't quite set. So if we can, we will. But if we can't, then we'll just walk along the canals and have hot chocolate, hot cider. I don't know what they drink in Amsterdam and Belgium. I mean, I would assume in Belgium they have hot chocolate because Belgian chocolate is kind of the thing.
It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
When is that happening? Like weeks, months?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So when I get back,
2
you're
weeks
gonna-
from now.
So when I get back, you're gonna be gone.
You get back on the 20. You're off next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be gone. This Friday is the
That's so
last
fun.
Friday I'll see you
'Cause
for
I-
3 weeks.
Right. Well,
Oh.
I won't have seen Brian for 2 weeks either because he's
Oh,
off and
yeah.
I'm off.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, what am I gonna do?
Well, we figured it out. We are only going to be in Virginia for 11 days in the month of November. And I'm only going to be working here for 8 of them.
What the heck?
Yeah. Because we're also going to San Francisco.
That's wacky.
Yeah. For family Thanksgiving.
Whew.
Yeah. Lots of traveling in the month of November.
You got a dog person?
We do.
Cool. I need a dog person.
Yeah.
We haven't.
I'm a little.
Is it a new dog person?
Yeah.
First time dog person?
I mean,
Yeah.
they know our dogs and
Yeah.
have been around us and our dogs, but this is the first time we're like leaving them for 2 whole weeks.
Do you have a backup emergency dog person?
Hey, Drew.
Just in case. Hey, I was coming there. Like,
Yeah.
let me know. I'd be
Yeah.
happy to.
We Crystal also said she would
Okay.
be happy
Cool.
if anything happened. So we've
Awesome.
got some plans. But
All
yeah,
right. Well, good luck with that. Hopefully it works out.
I cannot wait to come back with lots of chocolate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. That is what's happening. Let's tackle a few company updates and then we'll get out of here for this
nay.
week. Okay, company updates. We've got a new video this week. It is me being stupid, talking about Frankenpens. So not trying to sell any pens in this video for sure, but I mixed and matched some barrels, caps, and bodies of a bunch of different fountain pens. Some are horrendous, some are pretty cool. So check that out if you're curious about that. Sort of a Halloween thing, but also not really. And then next week, we are going to have 0 Pencasts. So Brian and I are unavailable. So it will be a gap week. So sorry about that. But we will be putting out another video. Brian's top demonstrator pens should be publishing on Wednesday of next week. So you
Nice.
can always check that out if you want a little dose of Brian. And then we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming, but we will have some, we are approaching the holiday season, so we will see some outages here and there to
Yeah.
be expected because people are having vacations, holidays are happening, and that's just the way of the season.
Yep.
So anyway, that's it. We're going to wrap this thing up. So I'm just going to say thanks so much for watching. Please leave us feedback about how we're doing. Ask us how we can be better about the show, which you don't ever do. Brian tells you every week, and no one ever says this is how you can be better. I have been told to calm down, though. I've been told to relax.
I think you were very relaxed.
No, I'm always uptight. I'm just a
Oh.
very high-strung individual, but that's just the way I am. So there have been other videos, not necessarily the Pencast, but people
Yeah.
in other comments about like me just in solo videos be like, this guy needs to relax. But they just don't know I'm always like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like sometimes relaxed, but not at work usually.
I guess I would say you're very energetic, but
Yeah.
not like high strung.
Maybe not. I don't know. I'm naturally awkward though, so yeah, you're gonna get a little bit of that. Sorry.
That's great.
Yeah, that's just me, bro. And then if you want to check us out on YouTube, check us out on Instagram. We've got a TikTok happening sometimes, but you know what to do there. And then I don't have a random fun fact, but Adrianne already shared a fun fact about the shark eyeballs, so you got that.
Yep.
So that is that. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your time with us. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate any support you give. If you buy from us, that's awesome. If all you do is just sit down with us for 2 hours and listen to us, that is equally awesome.
Just as awesome.
We appreciate it. It's noticed and appreciated. Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
And
Right
right
on.
on.